Hey guys, welcome back to Raising the Rogers Homestead. Today we're in the kitchen and I'm going to be sharing with you my favorite bun recipe. Over the last 10 years or so, I have made bread several different times, but it was not really anything that I stuck with until about a year and a half ago. I just decided one day, you know what? We're not buying bread anymore. I'm going to make it every single time, no matter what. And so that's what I started doing. We experimented with several different recipes until we found the one that we love, and this one, as soon as we took a first bite, we were like, this is amazing, and we are sticking with this one. So one of the reasons that I love it is obviously for the flavor, and another one is because it is so fast. You can go from start to finish in about 2 hours, and so that makes it, by the time that if you decide to have hamburgers on a whim, by the time that your meat is thawed, you're ready to go on the grill, basically, you can already have your buns done. So I'm going to share that with you today, and I hope that you will give them a try. In addition to experimenting with several different bread recipes, I've also experimented with different types of flour to find what works best. My favorite by far for all of my bread recipes is this White Lily unbleached bread flour. It is a little more pricey than like the Great Value off-brand flour, but to me it is worth it because I like the texture and the way that it holds the bread together a lot better than just regular all-purpose flour. But if you do not want to buy the more expensive flour, if you're just starting out and you want to kind of get the hang of bread and everything first, then just go with your favorite brand of unbleached all-purpose flour. You're going to start with 2 cups of warm water, 1 packet of quick rise yeast, and 1 teaspoon of sugar. Let all of that sit until your yeast is activated and foamy. Next, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of softened butter, and 1 tablespoon of honey. You can also sub out an additional tablespoon of sugar if you do not have honey on hand. Next, we're going to add in 4.5 cups of bread flour. And then mix until combined. And now that our dough is all together, we are going to cover it with a towel and let it sit for about an hour to an hour and a half until it has doubled in size. The dough has now doubled in size, and I will show you how I form it into buns. Before we get started with forming the buns, I just wanted to say that I taught myself how to do this. I have no idea what the actual proper bun forming technique is. It was kind of on a whim. This was actually a sandwich bread recipe that we had tried that we liked the flavor of, but I did not like using it in the actual loaves, and I was like, you know what, I bet it would be great for buns. So I just kind of tried it and it worked out, so then I kept doing it. So if you see another video or try it different yourself, that's fine. This is just how I do it, and like with other things, I'm sure there are a million other ways to do it, but this is what works for us. Okay, so all I have here is a floured work surface, a cookie sheet, and then my dough cutter. This is just an Amazon Basics cheap little dough cutter. So I'm going to turn it out onto my flour, and I don't really do anything. I just kind of work it a little bit, just like this, and then that. So all I do, and you can make these, I use this for like regular circle hamburger buns that we use for pretty much everything, and also hot dog buns. You can make them any size or shape that you want that works for you. And so I just, for our regular size buns, I just cut off a chunk and I form it into a circle like this. And as I'm forming it, I'm also kind of pushing the corners up under it. The bottoms are not gonna be pretty, but it doesn't matter because they're gonna taste great and nobody looks at the bottom. So I just form it into about as close of a circle as I can get. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm just gonna keep doing that. Now we have them done. This recipe for me makes about 12 average size buns. I like to let mine rise on the top of the stove while the oven is preheating. It just makes them rise a little bit faster. If you need them to take a little bit longer so that all of your food is done at the same time, just leave them on the counter. I just cover mine up with a towel and let them sit for about 30 minutes or so until they're ready to go in the oven. Okay, so I just pulled these out of the oven. They baked at 390 for about 15 minutes or so. And this is what they look like. And I just like to rub butter all over the top of them and then let them finish cooling before you're ready to serve. Thanks for watching today's video. I hope that this was helpful for you and gave you the confidence to try to make homemade buns yourself. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And if you try this recipe, let me know.